Hey everyone, welcome to episode 10 of Online Card Classes Crafty Chat. Our guest today is Lisa Spangler, and we're going to talk to Lisa about drawing inspiration from daily life in the world around you. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 10 of Online Card Classes Crafty Chat. We have the usual suspects here today. I am Lydia Fiedler. I'm the community manager of Split Coast Stampers, and I blog at understandblue.com. And we also have Jennifer McGuire.
I'm Jennifer McGuire. I am one of the owners and founders of Online Card Classes. She's the better half, I'm the other half. Does that count?
Okay.
You can find me at jennifermcguireinc.com. That's where I blog whenever my kids give me a chance. And then we have
Christina. I'm Christina Werner. I'm the other person that started Online Card Classes. I normally blog at kwernerdesign.com and also do videos on my YouTube channel.
And our very special guest today is my friend Lisa Spangler, a fellow Austinite and crafty friend. And Lisa, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where people can find you?
Hi, I'm Lisa Spangler, and you can find me on my blog at sideodscribbles at onepole.com. And I don't blog as much anymore. I mostly just do Instagram because I'm lazy. And I'm also Side Oats on Instagram. And Side Oats is the state grass of Texas, in case you were all wondering where I got that name. And I'm really into nature and prairies, and part of my mission in life is to tell people about prairies because everybody knows about the rainforest and how the rainforest is disappearing, but nobody knows that there were all these prairies right here in our own backyard. So I'm really involved with that. And I'm also on the Studio Calico design team where I make cards for them. So I think that's everything.
Well, Lisa and I just found out that we have this prairie thing in common, actually, because my sister is also a prairie and native plant lover and is the head of the Balcones chapter of the Native Prairies Association. And I saw Lisa posting on Facebook, and I was like, wait, there's another prairie person. You have to know my sister. Yeah. So, Lisa, tell us about your crafty journey. When did you start crafting?
I've been crafting forever. I grew up with my grandma, and her sister was really big into crafting. Like she did, remember those plastic squares, and you took a needle and you made cross stitch and stuff, but it was all plastic. We spent so many summers making coasters and placemats and all kinds of stuff like that. And then she lived in Arizona, and she would come and visit my grandma in Ohio, and she would stay for a month because they were sisters and they had to visit. But when she moved back to Arizona, she became my pen pal. So I would make her cards and send her cards, and she would write back to me. It was the coolest thing. And I've always been writing letters and cards. I'll confess I'm terrible at sending cards now. I'm trying to get better.
Don't let Jennifer hear that.
No, Lisa's good about it. Lisa's really good at that unexpected card. I like that.
That's true. You'll get a Christmas card in June. Very unexpected. Yeah, I've always been into crafty stuff.
When did you transition to paper crafting? Because I think we all kind of, or I don't know, maybe we all didn't, but I remember doing that needlework stuff when I was little too, and cross stitch, and that plastic canvas makes me think of the Kleenex boxes. You probably made 100 of the plastic canvas Kleenex boxes.
I just bought Lila her first little starter kit to do that stitching.
They are so fun, and you feel so accomplished when you've made a Kleenex box cover. I still have a Kleenex box in my room. But when did you turn into a stamper and a card maker?
Well, I turned into a stamper in college because I wanted to send out Christmas cards. And college students, we don't have money. So I looked at the price of a box of cards, and I'm like, I can make a box of, I can make cards for less than that. So I'll never forget, I went to Joann Fabrics, and I got a little snowflake stamp, and I got some clear, sparkly embossing powder. It was like before, they had maybe 20 stamps in the whole store. So it was before we had the wide selection that we have now. And I remember I couldn't afford a heat gun, so I was trying to melt this embossing powder over my toaster. Like, I kept turning the toaster on and melting the embossing powder, because that's what the lady told me. She's like, well, you can try that. And then the paper caught on fire. On fire. I'm in my little apartment, and I'm luckily the toaster was right next to the sink, so I just lobbed it in there and doused it. But that was the first time I made cards, and I was just hooked. Embossing powder, I love showing people embossing powder who've never stamped, because it's just so cool, especially if you actually have a heat gun and don't need to use the toaster. So,
I think we're batting 1,000 now on the number of people who've been on Crafty Chat who got started with embossing, the wonders of
right, everybody makes Christmas cards too.
Yeah. So when you got introduced through the wonders of heat embossing, what brought you to the online stamping community?
I have to say it was Hero Arts. And that's when they had contests, and you actually had to physically mail your project in.
Oh my gosh, was that in the Stone Age?
Yeah, it was back in the Stone Age. And so you had to mail your project in, but they announced the winners online. So, and there was a few people, like Terry Anderson was one person. We became friends because she would always win first place, and we would trade back and forth. So that was one way. And then about the same time, Christina had challenges, and
this was a long time ago.
That's a long time ago, and I used to enter them, and I worshipped you, Christina. Oh, always
do.
So inspiring, and so those are my two first things. I guess I got to know more people through Christina, just because there's a bigger community there.
For sure, those challenges were a lot of fun. I got to know a lot of people through the challenges, and they were lots of work to put together. That's why they didn't last for too long. But
I bet, yeah.
That was fun.
How long have you been blogging, Christina? Because you're like everybody's first blogging addiction.
I think my very first blog post was 2006. But before that, I think I've said this in Crafty Chats in the past. I was blogging before it was called blogging. It was called online journaling. Yeah. And, it was full on, I'm typing up, what happened at school today. For real. It was my senior year of high school. And, there was this whole online journaling community, and they were fantastic. And what I loved about it is it was you would write about your day in almost a more poetic fashion almost. I was involved with my high school literary magazine, so I was already kind of in that creative writing mode. Don't ask me to write anything now, but back then it was writing about my day, things like that. And then they had challenges and prompts and things like that. So that was my first kind of experience online. And then along came movable type and other content management systems. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. I'm not having to code my HTML by hand. And then WordPress came along, and the next thing you know, everyone's blogging. And
the funny thing is you're the youngest one, but you're the one who's been doing it by far the longest.
I know.
It's crazy, right? Well,
and I remember one time you posted that you were reading a book on CSS because you were remodeling your blog to get that kind of cleaner look that you ended up with, and I was thinking, oh my God, there are a lot of things I would do before I would read a book on CSS.
Oh, I never read it. It was mostly just reference. I'd be like, how do I do this? And then I'd look up in the, index, and then or the glossary, and I'd figure out where it was at. But I didn't like read it like it wasn't a page turner or anything.
That's not something you can read unless you want to like fall asleep.
No.
It's like if you can't sleep, read that.
Well,
Yeah,
you know
Lisa
something
and
about
Christina are two like really good tech people too in the crafting world.
yeah, you know something about that, Lisa. Didn't you have a technical job with Hero Arts eventually?
Yeah, I had, well, first I worked for IBM for 10 years, and then I worked for Hero Arts full-time for 10 years. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't realize it was 10 years.
Yeah, it was just a few months shy of 10 years, but we can round up.
You have the left brain, right brain balance then. You are super technical and very creative.
She is. I worked with her at Hero Arts, and I can agree.
Oh, thank you.
It's nice to know people who are good at both.
Mm-hmm. And rare.
It's rare. Yeah. But we have two of them here.
I know.
I'm not one of them.
I was going to ask you, Lisa, because this just made me think of it. It's almost like I can feel myself physically like switching from trying to do detailed technical work to like something more creative. Do you kind of feel that too? Like I almost have to like, in my mind, it like it switches over.
Yeah, it kind of switches over, and I started out with really getting into the Hero Arts contest just because I needed a break. Like because like when you're really in technical stuff, if you type one letter wrong, then you can spend days like trying to figure out what the heck happened. Like, what did I do? How did I break it? And with stamping, it's just paper. Like, if you mess up, you can make more. Like, there's no problems. So, really being creative is like the stress relief for the technical side.
Totally. And sometimes when I've been, because of the nature of what I do now, you have to be like creative, like on point. Like, you've got to be on demand creative. When everything's kind of creatively taxing, I almost long for the day when I would just format type, like, or look at HTML code, because just as it was a relief to you, like sometimes when I want a relief from all the creative stuff, I'll go back and do the technical stuff. So
I'm the same way.
I think it's a little bit like Jennifer stepping away and doing her organization. It's like a different way to like think about things.
I completely agree. For me, it's spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm.
I love formulas. I love pivot tables. I love organizing things in spreadsheets, and that is my refuge from,
Jennifer looks like she's going to barf.
Okay. Have you guys tried like a bacon cheeseburger? That's great. Lisa, I know you're vegetarian, but the rest of you, get this HTML spreadsheet stuff and go for the burger. No, actually, I'm a spreadsheet girl too, but because I do have that engineer in me also. But I don't do any of it anymore. I just organize.
I was just looking at the bottom of the screen. Jennifer, you need glasses. The rest of us have glasses.
Oh yeah.
I have contacts that are so strong that because if I had glasses, they'd be like.
Bottles.
Yeah, I'm blind as a bat. So.
Well, mine are pretty thick, but.
I have to do neck exercises every day just to hold up the weight of my glasses. Maybe there's something about paper crafting that makes us all excited.
It's all that detail work. It's killing our eyesight.
Could be.
Well, Lisa, speaking of, since Christina brought up creative writing, I love your blog because your posts always tell a story. It seems to me like you're always inspired by real life, whether that's a donut, those are some of my favorite posts, or, somebody in your family or that kind of thing. Where do you find inspiration? Does the inspiration really come first and then the art, or how do you work that out?
Well, usually the inspiration comes first, but sometimes it's the products themselves, like it's the stamps, or like you get a new ink pad and you're like, oh, it's like this cool pink, and what can I put with the pink? And I guess I get inspired by too much stuff. Like, I remember my first CHA, it was like inspiration overload. Like, I couldn't sleep like the whole time I was there, and I did the trick where I had a notebook like by my bed, and I was like trying to write down, okay, lime green and like, you know, like a bluish, like a dark blue look really good together or something. And I was like trying to write all this stuff down, but I still couldn't sleep. And it's the same way now. Like if I go to a stamp store and see all of the cool cards and like, or watch like one of the online card classes, like I just get too inspired and I have to write everything down. And then when I'm not inspired, I can go back and look through it.
That's a good habit to get in. I haven't developed that habit yet, but I love that idea of just keeping a little journal with your ideas in it. How do you get disciplined to do that? Teach me, Obi-Wan.
I think it's just a matter of not being able to sleep. And like, it's like I kind of train myself, like once I write it down, then I can like kind of go back to sleep. But sometimes you have to get up and stamp in the middle of the night too. or
I've never done that.
I have. If I don't have a notebook handy, I put a little note on my phone or email myself something.
I do that because then I know I won't forget I wrote it down.
I do like
One of
to
the
email
things I've always admired about Lisa is she can find inspiration in anything. Like you have always, like you'll put up a card and you were inspired by a leaf, and it's like, I wouldn't have seen that leaf and thought, this is inspiring, like, but it is. And I admire how you can take that. And that's why I love on Instagram when you kind of show things with your cards, you can kind of start figuring out how Lisa got that inspiration going. And I think that's really, really cool. And I know, you know, because I worked with you, it's fun because Lisa does everything like full jumping in, like with full passion and full heart. So when she gets inspired by something, she gets really excited, and it is so much fun to see. And it's very inspiring to start thinking about things. So I encourage you, if you haven't, look at her Instagram, because I think you might come up with new ways to look at you know, the everyday to find inspiration. So it's always fun to see what you come up with.
Right now. I don't think I've seen your Instagram recently, so.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
She's good with taking pictures too, so it's a pretty Instagram.
Oh yes, lots.
But not the pretty where you like are like, that's not a real life, like where people have their perfect looking houses and family. Like she is pretty, like pretty inspiration. I don't know. It's hard to.
Shut at the front door. Do you see this? Oh, it's too weird. It's this cute card with like a bear popping out of a box, and it says 2016. It's adorable.
Well, it's just funny how everybody's mind works differently, but we all come down to the same thing, making a card. I don't know. I think it's really cool.
What is your favorite card that you have ever made?
Favorite card I ever made? Oh.
I'm going to make you pick.
It's always the last one. I can show
Right.
I'll show Jennifer a sneak peek of a card I'm making for her. So I started with this, and it's not finished yet because I can't figure out like what message I want to put on there. But this is probably my latest favorite.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So hopefully you'll see this in like a week or so.
You need a video on that. I miss seeing your videos on how you create these things.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's look at her Instagram for a minute here. So we're just gonna go on a little Instagram field trip. Like, this is adorable. Okay, did you freehand draw this? What is this?
Yeah, so I just drew that. There was a class at Studio Calico, and I learned so much stuff. So these glaze gel pens that are back there, they're waterproof, so you can actually watercolor over top of them. I had no idea. So, but that was just homework for the class.
All right, show us some more, Christina. I want some more.
Okay, she's got lots of great food photos. Like, seriously, if you are ever like, oh, I have no appetite, you just go to Instagram. There are so many awesome food photos. Let's see.
And they're all vegetarian, so.
And I'm seriously into oatmeal. If you guys have any good oatmeal recipes to share, like if you go on that oatmeal one and you click on side oats, loves oats, that hashtag, then
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I started this in January, and I don't post it every day because some days I'm boring and I just have the same oatmeal.
I
You always have inspiring napkins, too.
Yeah.
Well, some of them I made just because I get fabric. I get inspired by fabric, and so I buy it, and then I never use it, so I just make a napkin because I can actually sew that.
Awesome. So, have you ever tried baked oatmeal? My sister has an awesome baked oatmeal recipe. It's good for if you have like a crowd of people. But you
I
do
love baked oatmeal, but ask Lydia. That's a winter thing in Austin. The oven won't be on until like October here.
Okay,
we
look at
can't
this.
have any
Hello.
generated
Okay.
fires.
Does it look that good every day?
So come on now.
It's like kind of my ritual. So I make my coffee, and like while the coffee I do a pour over coffee, and while the coffee is like dripping, I like do the oatmeal. So,
It's
I
beautiful.
don't eat oatmeal, but that makes me want to eat oatmeal.
Yeah. Do you ever do
It's
the
almost as good as a
refrigerator?
bacon burger right there. Almost.
Do you ever do the refrigerator oatmeal, Lisa? That's my favorite.
That's what I started doing that in like May, and that's what I'll do until probably October.
Mhm. Same here. Got to have the cold food in the summer down here.
Yes.
This one makes me think it's the 4th of July. This one, like just the berry colors, and I mean,
Yeah.
I love it.
I
You
agree.
need to get an official oatmeal sponsor for your Instagram feed.
You really have to like reach out to like your favorite brand of oatmeal and like say, I would love to Instagram some oatmeal for you.
That's a good idea, actually.
Seriously, I mean, a lot of people do that. Those are the most beautiful oatmeal photos I've ever seen. Not that I've seen a lot, but those are stunning.
Thank you.
So, Lisa, what are you up to these days? So you left your arts. So what are you up to?
She's obviously making adorable cards. Look at this.
I know.
You're fun.
Thanks.
I like the little personalized thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
So what are you up to?
Mostly just so I've been taking some online classes, and then still doing stuff for Studio Calico, and then trying to rehab my leg. I won't go into all the sad details, but I've had 6 surgeries on my leg now, and the last one was in April. So, doing all the PT for that takes a while each day, but it's getting there. Yay!
It's been a long road for you.
Yeah, it really has. So, all of you all out there, never give up, no matter what it is. Just, keep going.
Yeah, she's had a rough path with that, but you're getting there.
Well, what is your favorite product right now? What do we all need to have that you love?
Well, I got some of the Daniel Smith watercolors that have the minerals in them. The ones that have all the little shimmery things. That has to be my favorite now because it's so unpredictable and it just looks so cool. You can just paint a circle and it looks really cool.
Are some that have that and some don't?
Yeah, some are actually made out of minerals. They have, I think Sandy had a video and it shows where they crush rocks, and that's
Cool.
I'm really into rocks and stuff. If you saw downstairs, I have a whole fossil collection. It used to be a CD case, and now it's become rocks and fossils and stuff. When we go hiking, I put them there.
Fine stuff.
But they actually crush rocks and make these pigments out of them. So the amethyst one has little bits of amethyst, so it's really sparkly and shimmery. And
Wow.
so I got some Texas ones, of course. I had to do the Texas. But yeah, that's gotta be my favorite right now.
Daniel Smith is nice, and if you do any kind of monoprinting at all, some of his inks are absolutely incredible. They have the most beautiful pigments. When Linda Germain came, did you take that class with me? A monoprinting class with Linda Germain?
It sounds cool.
Yeah, it was really great, but that was the first time I'd ever worked with his ink, and it's just as amazing as his watercolor. So what else what was on that, is that what you used on that card for Jennifer? in the background?
Yeah, so that's on the card projector. I don't know if you can see it shimmering, but yeah, that one, and I did some other stuff. I actually made some. I made some art. I don't know. My husband calls it art. I wouldn't call it that myself, but it's like framed pieces. Like I kind of updated the house a little bit, and I used them for that. And like I said, you can just paint blobs, and it still looks cool.
Then maybe I need to do that because generally I paint globs.
Yeah, just pick the colors that will go with the room. And
Are they expensive?
They're like the same price. I
Okay.
think some of them are more. Depends on like whatever rock they crushed to make it.
Do you just buy them open stock? You just buy them one at a time, or?
Yeah, I got them. Ellen Hudson had a little deal. I have that on my desk too, where you got like a little sampler thing. I don't know if she still has it now, but you got like a little sampler thing to try. So I just got them from her, just like the ones. Like I did the little sampler first, and then figured out which ones I would use the most, and I just bought a few of them. Like I only have like, I don't know, only 6 or 8 or so.
Are you in watercolor mode right now?
Yeah, pretty much. It seems like I just want to watercolor everything.
I think you've been that way for a while. Before it was like people all were starting to watercolor everything. It seems like it's kind of in you, that medium.
Yeah, I just love watercolors because it's I guess you can't control it, so it's like don't even try to control it. Like you can do what you can do, but beyond that. And I think that's what I like about it, because I can be a control freak. Like, I want everything to be all neat and tidy, and so I'm, like, trying to learn, like, not to do that. And watercolors really help with it.
Yeah, I think watercolor is humbling, but until you said that, it makes it sound like watercolor is perfect for cat people, because it's something you have no control over.
True.
I agree. And I think as card makers, we're sort of control freaks anyway, most of us, especially if you have a style like yours, which is very clean and simple. Then watercolor does test your limit
Yes.
a little bit. So what other projects do you have going on right now?
I guess that's about it, really. I've been doing some photography, but nature photography. So
I saw your orchids. Those are beautiful. I didn't even know those were out there. I learned so much from your Instagram feed.
Isn't that the coolest thing? Like, I would never have thought there were orchids, like, in a prairie.
Do you walk every day? Do you go out and it seems like you're always hiking.
Yeah, I try to. I mean, even if it's just in our neighborhood, there's a little retention pond, and it has a few prairie plants, actually, around it. So, and it's a mile to get to the pond, so that's like my half, like, you know, I made a mile! And so every day I try to take some pictures, just with my phone camera, not with the big camera. The prairie photos I did over the weekend, I broke out the big boy.
So this is the orchid, right? This is the one you're talking about?
Yeah, so that's the orchid. And I was like thinking, like, those little sparkly things, I was like trying to recreate it but use like glossy accents to make the little sparkles. That would be cool.
Yeah, it almost has a bokeh look.
Yeah, but it was just dew, so.
What was that purple one?
Oh, that's the
right there.
iris.
That's impressive.
Perfectly centered in the photo.
I cropped it, actually. There was some grass over on the side, and I didn't want to, like, rip it out. I tidy up the photos a little bit sometimes.
That one, it still, to me, looks like it has sunglasses on, and it's like, hey, I'm here. I'm an orchid.
It looks like it's like, to me, it's like the flower has its arms out, and it wants to give you a hug.
Yeah.
It kind of does look like that.
It's like, hi, can I hug you?
What was the last crafty thing that you bought? Since you said that you thought that making cards would be cheaper than buying them, which I'm sure you want to take back now.
Yeah.
Give you an opportunity to take that back.
Yeah, I'll take it back.
What was the last, like, splurge where you said, ooh, when I have a little extra fat stacks lying around, I'm going to buy this product?
Well, it was a marbling kit. I actually have it here. Like,
Oh, you're gonna cause. Okay, so far you've got me buying Daniel Smith watercolors. Now a marbling kit.
it's a marbling kit. It's so cool. So this was my last splurge, and
I saw that on Facebook.
I've got to try it out.
Are there pictures on the back of what you can do?
I don't know.
Is it an acrylic or is it an ink? What are you marbling with?
Like weird ink, and all you have to do is drop it on top of water, and then the ink will float. And then the only trick seems to be, I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but the only trick seems to be you have to use paper without sizing in it. So I figured I got some of this Japanese paper to try. And then I thought I'd try watercolor paper too. Like, what the heck? May as well try watercolor paper.
Cotton, I would think it would work. Does rice paper work? I have.
Yeah.
I bought a giant stack of rice paper. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, try it. Try it. Rice paper's supposed to work, I think.
Lisa's always adventurous. Like, always finds these things to try, and I think that's really fun. I think sometimes I get caught in a rut of what I can easily find, like what craft stores are carrying, but you seem to branch out more, and I think like go real art. What I shouldn't say that real art supplies, but like what people who have that natural talent, I kind of take those and make them work for me, and I admire that you go and find those cool things like a marbling kit. I think that's really. I always forget to really look for the unique stuff. And I'm too busy buying all the stamps these companies are coming up with.
Right.
It's killing me.
There's very little time left after that.
We need to have like a truce where all the companies agree to not come out with anything for like 6 months so we can all catch up.
Yeah.
There's so much good out there.
All the stamps that we have. Well, we could have 6 months where we actually made stuff with everything that we have.
With what we have. Yeah. And maybe find things that are non-crafty and bring them in. It's not going to happen.
That is so weird about that marbling kit, though, because when I got done with my walk today, and I'll like have breakfast after I have my walk, and I opened up. I have Watercolor Artist magazine, and I opened it up, and the big spread article this month was about marbling, but it looked a lot more complicated than that because you had to mix up alum, and I think they were using acrylic. So that must be out there in the universe, marbling. Now I'm going to have to go look for that. Kit, how'd you come across it?
How did I come across it?
Mm-hmm.
One of the girls from Studio Calico did something on her blog. Tina. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's great.
Yes. Yeah, it was last summer. So I thought, okay, this summer I'm actually going to do this.
You are an experimenter, though. The last time I saw you, you were using those, and I have them now because of you. Totally your fault. And I haven't used them yet. But you had those little silk screens, tiny cut silk screens. I think they were Studio Calico. And you were using that gold ink. Do they still carry those little things? 'Cause I'm going to need some help.
Yeah, they still have some. I think it like the trend like peaked and now it's like kind of on the way out. But they still have some.
I bought some.
Did you use them, or is it like me? They're sitting on your shelf.
I own them. Isn't that half of the joy?
It is. Well, those cards were so beautiful with that gold screen printing ink or whatever you were using. You infected all of us with it.
I could probably blame her.
Yeah. Okay. So Lisa, what's your design ritual? How do you do your best? How do you come up with your best ideas?
Well, it used to be, I used to ride my bike a lot. Like, I would ride for 25 miles at lunch. Since the leg surgery, I haven't like, once you get into it.
Wait, hold on. 25 miles?
Yeah, but once you get into it, it only takes like an hour, so.
Okay, so Lydia walks for 2 hours every morning. Lisa rides a bike for 25 miles. Christina and I text each other all day long talking about crafty stuff.
Yeah, and watch movies.
I don't do that. I'm driving kids around, but that's a lot of. You guys are like, I'm not racing you guys in anything.
You have kids. I have really awful reality TV. And for some people, that might also be what they tell their kids.
Right.
Good point. Okay, sorry. So you go ride.
Yeah, so or walk. Like riding is better because you can like just kind of zone out. Walking, you kind of have to, you have to watch. There's not a rock that you're stepping on, or.
With a bike, don't you have to watch really close too?
Well, I had a route and I rode it every day, so watch. It's like kind of like when you're driving and you get somewhere and you're like, how did I get here? Like you don't remember anything about the whole drive. Like riding a bike, if you go the same way every day, it's more like that.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because you're like moving faster and you're working harder than when you just walk. When I walk, I can't just lose myself as much.
Isn't it weird how we all lose ourselves in different ways? Lydia walks. I go to baseball games. Christina's got her, what TV that you just said, the reality TV or something?
Sure.
Hey, whatever it takes, right? You gotta have something.
So you design while you ride? You zone out? And...
Yeah, I kind of zone out, and then that's when I get my best ideas. Or when walking, or if I'm hiking somewhere. Kind of like, I like to hike the same hike every month just because then you can see, oh, this flower is blooming now, and now it's this flower, and you kind of get to know the plants. It's like all the plants are my friends. It sounds so weird, but it's like, oh, there's that tree.
I get that way with my flowers. I understand. They may or may not have names.
Yeah, but you just kind of zone out, and that's when I get my best ideas.
There's something about the way, and I agree because I'm an outside, it might just be a Texan thing, but we love to be outside. And when I get out there and I see all the little changes that happen over, when you're doing it regularly, the light changes, the angle of the light changes, and so the forest kind of changes because I like to walk in the woods. Number one, because it's only 100 degrees in there. But yeah, and the little animals, like right now, this morning, I call them my cardinals hatched. I've been taking a picture every day of this mama, and she just sits real quietly on her nest, and I just saw her beak. That's how I knew that she was there. And she was sitting there for a couple days, and today the babies hatched. And yeah, so I got to see the little babies, but I know what you mean. You get out there and you see those different things, and different times of the year are inspiring for different reasons. And then in Texas, there's always the added bonus that something is trying to kill you at all times. So
see, there's one show that I really like to watch. Christina, I know you don't watch this one. Monsters Inside Me.
Oh, God, no. I don't even know what that is, and I'm not going to.
I have to say that most of the stories start with, I live in Austin, Texas. And then it's usually followed with, I noticed this growth on my arm. Then it's usually followed with, it was moving.
No.
And it almost always starts with, it's either I live in Austin, Texas, or I ate raw fish. But
so basically,
my husband went to
Texas.
University of Texas, and my oldest daughter goes to University of Texas and lives in Austin. I love it there. But you guys have some critters.
It's very dangerous.
A fuzzy, cute caterpillar that can, like, burn your head off.
Jennifer, I got stung by one of those, and my arm was numb for like 6 months. They're terrible little things. We're always defending our lives.
But you guys do have Matthew McConaughey, so it kind of balances things out.
There you go. Well, this is a random when you mentioned like something on my arm and it's moving. It made me think, and this is like a word of warning for anyone who crafts and does things with spray adhesive. My design teacher in college, he told us, he went to Art Center. It's this really well-known graphic design school in California. And one of his instructors, this happened while he was there. His instructor said, okay, you guys have got to stop using spray adhesive. And they were like, why? And he's like, well, you remember so-and-so, like this guy that was in their class, and he hadn't been there for a while. He's like, well, apparently he developed like little lumps all over his body, and they didn't know what it was, and then they like did biopsies, and it turns out it was like little collections of adhesive that had like formed under his skin because he had inhaled too much of it.
Oh.
So don't be using that. But now that I have your attention, I have to ask you, how did this turn out? This taco cleanse.
It turned out great. I never felt better than after the taco cleanse.
What is it? It's
For real?
It's for real.
Oh, it's vegan.
a tortilla-based diet proven to change your life. With 75 vegan recipes, detox your dreams and
I want to go
redefine your
shopping
dinner.
with Lisa Spangler because she finds everything from the taco cleanse to the marbling kit.
The taco cleanse, the authors live in Austin.
Of course.
There's a cute vegan grocery store. It's like so cute, and so the book was on display there, and so I had to try it. I mean, you have to support your hometown, right? And,
Austin is a really cool city.
and we have breakfast tacos. Lydia
Yes.
can like testify to breakfast tacos.
So funny for all you Yankees out there. I'm just going to explain what a breakfast taco is. It is not
Wait.
a crunchy taco like from Taco Bell. That is not a breakfast taco.
And it's not a waffle taco either. Like no,
Okay.
waffle taco.
It's
I know
not-
the people you're addressing, and I promise I do not think Taco Bell is real tacos.
Okay, but a lot of people do. They're like, that's so weird that you eat tacos for breakfast. I'm like, you don't understand what a taco is. It's a flour tortilla, and it has there are a million different taco combinations that you can have in the great Lone Star State. But most of them are like eggs, migas. We eat a lot of migas. Eggs, potato, cheese, different kinds of sausage. One place that Lisa and I both like has fried avocado breakfast tacos, which are delicious. They're all delicious.
Nice.
It's a soft flour tortilla, and it is the national breakfast food of Texas.
I have to say,
Taco is.
one of the things I know about Lisa from knowing her for many years is that it always comes back to food. She loves food like me. I think it might be the two of us together in our passion for food, but it comes back to food. I eat meat, she doesn't, but we like food.
I'm still stuck on Lydia calling us Yankees. I thought Texas was like its own thing. It wasn't even considered the South. Am I wrong?
It's the Great Republic. It is not part of anything else.
I moved to Austin in '96, and I'm formerly a Yankee. So
Yeah.
I
She's from my neck of the woods. She's from Ohio.
Yeah, before Austin, I lived in the Youngstown area, like Pittsburgh, Ohio, but like kind of close to the Pittsburgh line. And but you have to embrace it when you're here. And breakfast tacos are definitely.
All right. Well, if I ever come visit either of you, we will, one, not be going outside. And number two, we will have to have lots of tacos, but that we can only obtain the tacos if we run to the car, drive to where the tacos are, and then drive home after.
No, better. I've got the solution. I have the solution. Lydia will walk to get the tacos, and Lisa will ride them back on her bike.
I like this idea. This is going to work.
We'll see what happens.
I think the humidity alone would kill you, Christina.
Oh, my hair would be a big puffball. I would look like a poodle. It would be bad. I can handle heat, but only dry. Which is, well, I know it's silly, but this is the reason why I don't go to Disney World. Because it's really warm and it's humid and like what?
Lisa, before we leave food, I know, because it is true that whenever I think of you, I think of a donut. So there's something to that.
I think of donuts. I think of wild or like prairie flowers, and I think of bikes.
Yeah.
Every time I see any kind of bike thing, I send it to Lisa and actually Libby too.
Yeah. He introduced me to it because I noticed on that Instagram that Christina put up where Jennifer, you said you liked the personalization. She said thanks for the pancakes at Kirby Lane.
Oh yes.
So that's the place that we had lunch last, where Lisa introduced me to something I did not think was possible, which was vegan queso. And it was
so
delicious.
good. Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing over there at Kirby Lane, but that was delicious, and I had never heard of such a thing before. But Lisa always finds the good food in Austin.
Is
She
Kirby
finds the
Lane
good food
like
and
a
she finds
local
good
place?
stamp.
Yes, Kirby Lane is a local. It's like our version of like an upscale Waffle House, I guess.
Like Sleepy Bee in Ohio.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very different than Waffle House. That I don't see that, Lydia.
I know. I didn't know what to say.
Been to Waffle House one time, and it's like never again.
I've only been to Wafflehouse. Some of the letters were burnt out, and it looked like Wafflehouse. So I'm like, oh yes, I've been to Wafflehouse.
I went on a road trip in college, and we said we were going to stop at every Waffle House on the way.
Oh no.
And we didn't get very far, and we had to quit because there's a lot of them, and we weren't feeling so good after eating at all these Waffle Houses.
Okay, sorry. Back to crafting.
Yeah, that's why I love Kelly Perky stamps. Like, Kelly Perky has all the best stamps for food and bikes. Like, she has bike stamps, and
Are you able to still cycle with your leg?
I'm not cleared to ride outside yet. Because my bike is like a real like bike, and it has like clipless pedals, and I'm not allowed to like clip out. I guess technically, if I didn't clip out, like if I only clipped out on my good leg, I could still ride. But I'm hoping, I see the doctor on Monday for a follow-up, so I'm hoping he clears me to get back on the bike outside. Like now I have it just set up in here, and it's like so boring.
Yeah, it's so boring. I just really like exercising outside a lot better. It's just I can't do the treadmill thing.
I'm with you, yeah.
Okay, I have to know what's in all those little bottles over there behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, there's, so let me tilt this.
I see some Studio Calico Mists, right?
Yeah, so there's Studio Calico Mist, and then in the little jars, it's all my wood veneer.
You got a lot of wood veneers, girl.
Yeah, I just keep it, and I never use it, and I'm like telling myself, okay, you gotta use it.
It's the same. I'm the same way with buttons. I will never get rid of them, and I can't remember the last time I used one.
Yeah, I'm like thinking maybe I'll get a canvas and just put wood veneer like all over it.
That's a good idea.
For them, I have like bikes and I have typewriters. Like I see Jennifer's typewriter.
Yep, they gave me that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
Yeah, I like the yellow.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
actually
you need
bought
to
it and she
take
wanted
all
to
those-
use it, and it didn't work, so she gave it to me.
You need to take, like you were saying, take all those veneers and put them all on a big canvas, and then like pick one shape that you really love and put it like, off to the side, and then like paint it red,
Yeah.
or paint them in stripes.
Yeah, like stripes would be cool. Hey!
Colin wanted to say hi to everybody.
Oh, hi, Colin!
Oh my gosh, hi Colin.
She has a Colin nephew, right? Nephew?
Yep.
Yeah. And they're about the same age.
Look how big she is now.
She likes Colin because Colin gives the best belly rubs, so trying
That's
to
hard,
give him her bones so that he'll in turn give her a belly rub. Seems fair.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, Lisa, well, thank you for sharing snacks and some crafty tips with us today. I really feel like I need to go get a taco and a donut now. Thank you. Good thing I walked this morning. But we really appreciate you being here, and I'm so happy to hear that you're doing better and getting around great now. It was fun talking to you, even though we're in the same town and I never get to see you. So thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. Tell us again where people can find you on the internet.
Well, find me on my blog at sideodes.wumple.com, or Instagram is where I'm updated the most, and that is sideode. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. We've missed you, so thank you for joining us.
It was super fun. Y'all have a good week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.